Sean Dyche galvanising this Everton side. A Dwight McNeil cross for a James Tarkowski header. It couldn't have been more Sean Dyche, really, could it?
It couldn't have been more Burnley, could it?
But they got relegated last year, so
the glory of Burnley days. I think a lot of people kind of expected an improvement from Everton, but I don't think, me included, I didn't expect them to beat Arsenal. In the way that the game was won, I suppose you can look at the goal. They looked really threatening from set pieces, Everton, but there was just a huge improvement from the whole team. Every single player looked up for it.
Yeah.
And it's something that Arteta did mention after the game. He just said Everton were hungrier. They were more determined than us, and that's why they won the game. But I think you have to be a bit more kind to Everton than that. I think they were, if you looked at just around the pitch, I think that it was a good decision to bring Decore. I thought he had probably one of his best games for Everton. Anana looked an absolute revelation in this game. Is probably his best game for Everton as well. And that says a lot as well. If you look at some of these players who are in this team still, there's a few players that are still, quite new to the team. Mikalenko, obviously, at fullback. A big miss for him was obviously Nathan Patterson, who looked really good for them before he got injured. But in midfield was the main difference for me. They were first to everything, and they didn't actually let Arsenal have a sniff. They were as soon as Arsenal's forward players kind of had it, and they were forced to kind of be back to goal a lot of the time because Everton were constantly on them. And that's got to be so encouraging, because I think a lot of Everton fans probably would have been dreading this weekend. And I don't think he's had the credit that he deserves as well, Dyche, for what he did do at Burnley on such a limited budget. And he's obviously come into this Everton team. They had such a tragic transfer window. So I think if he can get a result against Liverpool on Monday, then what will Everton fans be saying then?
Yeah, I think it carries that momentum, doesn't it, from this result? But, he does get a bit of stick, Sean Dyche. He's a bit of a caricature, isn't he, for the kind of football he played at Burnley. But you have to remember the resources at Burnley were very limited. And I don't think the talent in the Burnley squad was anywhere close to the talent that's in this current Everton squad either. He obviously switched to like a flat back four. I think you could see the wing play was in use a lot more. And as you said, the midfield was just a lot of running from Everton. And I'd never saw any of that under Frank Lampard. Is it as simple as that from a Sean Dyche team, do you think, Myles? Do you think that was kind of the basis? And what more can we expect to see from him against Liverpool, especially, who, let's not forget, are under the cosh themselves?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he sets up for that one, because obviously, rightfully so, he kind of paid Arsenal a lot of respect in this game, but just tried to be organised and efficient when they did get their chances. And they created, don't get me wrong, but that's because they knew what their roles were. And it didn't look like that was ever present in this Everton side before. So, yeah, with the Liverpool game, it's interesting to see how he plays it, whether he tries to ride the momentum that they've got off this game and kind of take the game to Liverpool. But that doesn't seem very Dyche. I wonder if he'll kind of try and just follow a similar formula of just let's do the basics right, because Liverpool aren't doing that right now, and they're leaving gaps for us to exploit. You can see where Everton will get joy against Liverpool. You can see the positions that they'll target. It's just whether or not they can kind of keep that momentum going at this stage. It's an interesting one, isn't it? We weren't inspired by the appointment. I think it shows what Everton's ambition is. I think their January transfer window shows that even more. The fact that they were promised a new striker and they couldn't even get Andre Ayew to sign on a free in the end, and they've shifted one of their better players. It's a difficult one to assess where Everton really will be and whether this was a kind of one-off new manager bounce. You're always going to expect it. They were fortunate that they played Arsenal in Arsenal's worst game of the season by some distance, which I don't think is really that problematic. It looked like a minor blip, and you can see why it was challenging this game. We'll see where they go from here, to be honest.